This is ABC 7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Alan Cohn, and welcome to ABC 7 at 7. Topping our news tonight, for all of you concerned about urban sprawl, we lead tonight with the latest industrial-sized development coming to your Suncoast. It's a project in the works for more than a decade. The Great Recession had put it on hold, but now Benderson Development is preparing to build the Siesta Promenade. Benderson met with Sarasota County's Development Review Committee today. The agenda, a 30-acre project at the intersection of US 41 and Stickney Point Road. The mixed-use development would include a hotel, retail space, and 600 apartments and condos. Nearby, homeowners are concerned with how Siesta Promenade could impact traffic. Benderson hopes to work through the issues with residents.
Well, obviously, it's tough to try and please everyone, but we're trying to hear what the neighborhood has to say and blend their concerns and interests with what the future land use of the property is.
The Development Review Committee did not approve the project today, but Benderson hopes to break ground this fall. Major changes could be coming to yet another I-75 interchange here on the Suncoast. FDOT is releasing a new plan for the Bee Ridge Road exit. There are now plans to have the southbound exit ramp cross over Bee Ridge to Cattleman, just north of Wilkinson Road. The project still needs funding. Officials hope to finalize plans by the end of the summer. The Florida Supreme Court is telling Florida Power and Light to stop billing customers for the utility's investment in fracking in Oklahoma. Justices ruled state regulators were wrong to permit FPL to pass the cost along to customers. FPL says the investment would help stabilize fuel prices, saving customers money in the long haul. Justice Charles Canady was the lone dissent. An update now on the service problems involving everyone's favorite cable company these days, Frontier. The company is acknowledging the recent widespread outages are a result of its takeover of Verizon, really. However, Frontier isn't quite taking responsibility. Instead, the company says Verizon provided corrupt data. Frontier spent more than $10 billion to acquire Verizon in Florida, Texas, and California. Big changes if you are one of 4 million Americans who work more than 40 hours a week but don't get overtime. A new rule from the Department of Labor will now change that. The rule affects middle management employees making between $23,000 and $47,000 a year, regardless of your employee classification. You can now be eligible for overtime. Labor organizations are praising the decision, but others think this could hurt small businesses and could cost jobs.
Employers and entrepreneurs and business owners are going to necessarily have to make adjustments in their hiring, in their wages, and in their benefits packages in order to ensure that they can even survive.
The new rule, overtime rule, is set to go into effect on December 1st. We've been reporting this for months on the move to turn high school sports in Florida into a pro-style free agent system. Case in point, Lakewood Ranch High School is in big trouble. It's facing fines and probation after violating rules involving transferring student athletes. An investigation by the Florida High School Athletic Association revealed 2 players on the girls' basketball team transferred from Southeast High to Lakewood Ranch. Both girls never completed the required transfer paperwork, and both went on to play varsity basketball for the school.
One of the things that compounds this situation is her teams historically have not practiced at Lakewood Ranch. They've practiced at a YMCA and some other facilities around where that's not even an issue. So I think that could have been part of the process where it broke down and we had the administrative breakdown that led to the violation.
In addition to the sanctions, the school district is citing its head coach and athletic director and principal for not following district and state policies. As we said, new state laws are changing the transfer rules for Florida high school sports this coming school year. Athletes will now be able to transfer mid-year. District lines will no longer matter. Student athletes will also be able to transfer schools as long as there is room for them. The changes are part of a massive education bill passed during the recent legislative session. If you live in Venice and have been hearing a lot of howling in the middle of the night, the answer is yes. Those are coyotes, and more people are actually seeing them. In fact, Venice police say the coyotes have been in the area for some time now. Wildlife officials say if they try to move them, more will come. The best advice is to avoid them. But if you do encounter a coyote,
you make noise, wave your hands, and that should be enough to scare the coyote away. We're also asking people to be aware of their trash. They are out looking for food.
The Wildlife Commission has put together a pamphlet for dealing with coyotes. We have put a link in our website. Just go to mysuncoast.com. Look under links that we have mentioned. And Bob, I have seen them in my own neighborhood.
Absolutely. Driving home on 75th Street near Cortez, I've seen a few there as well. And I'll tell you what we have to look out for is no storms tonight, but Friday night, different story. More storms coming back our way. Here's a look at what's going on right now. A beautiful shot last night. Some of the lightning that was very vivid across parts of the Suncoast. Get a look at this shot sent in to our pics at mysuncoast.com. Dylan, John Wade Cox, sending this one in under the Ringling Bridge. He was taking shelter as the storms were moving ashore right around 11 o'clock last night. And you can see that one strike right there. Very strong one at that, more than likely a positive strike. They have a little bit more amperage with them. No storms tonight, though. They're well east of the state, or at least to our area, and continue to push off toward the east. Not much to the west of us currently, but we are watching an area off the coast of Texas, which will be here tomorrow night, and we'll have to keep an eye on that. Right now, it looks like most of those storms should stay to our north, but we'll watch it nonetheless. There's not much going on to the west of us. One lone shower or return about 150 miles offshore. 84 right now. We have a few clouds. The dew point's higher at 73. Winds out of the west-southwest at 10. And as far as the high goes, 88 today. Same as yesterday, 74 the morning low. It has been warm to start things off. It'll stay that way, although there's some cooler air, slightly cooler air, headed our way by Monday morning. Well, the forecast model showing the storms mainly to the east staying there. Not much going on near the coast, and it looks like it'll stay relatively dry on Friday throughout much of it. And then here comes that system that I mentioned, showers and maybe even a few thunderstorms late Friday night and Saturday morning, clearing out of here. And then a weak frontal system moves through late Saturday. That front won't do a whole lot in producing rain for us, but it will, as I mentioned, cool us down just a little bit on Monday. And it looks as though we will see just a light chop in the bays and inland waters. The extended forecast looks like this. A chance for showers tomorrow, a little bit better on Saturday, but not much, only at 40%. And then 60s for lows by Monday morning.
I'll take that.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Thanks a lot, Bob. And still to come, Congress is divided over how much money should be used to fight Zika. Find out why some in Washington are withholding funds and what it means for us in Florida. That story when we come back.
ABC 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Attention, this is an important message for anyone who had an IVC filter placed to prevent blood clots from traveling to their heart or lungs. Did your IVC filter move, break, or cause organ damage? The FDA warns that IVC filters may cause serious complications, such as heart or lung damage, internal bleeding, even death. If you or a loved one suffered serious complications, call IVC Filter Helpline now. You may be entitled to compensation. IVC filters are designed to prevent blood clots. If your IVC filter moved or broke and you suffered heart or lung damage, internal bleeding, or if a loved one died as a result, call IVC Filter Helpline today. Our network of experienced attorneys is ready to fight for you. You'll pay nothing unless there's a recovery in your favor. Call today for a free confidential consultation. Don't fight this alone. Call IVC Filter Helpline now.
Please call 800-897-6764. That is 800-897-6764.
We are delighted to have Dr. Kaminsky join our team at the Totola Cancer Center.
I'm a radiation oncologist. I was at the National Institutes of Health, most recently at the Medical College of Georgia, specialized in central nervous system cancers, prostate cancers, and other types. At the Totola Cancer Center, we have a level of technology that is second to none.
He has a great wealth of knowledge and shares the same passion that we have for patient care.
My family and I are happy to be here in Sarasota and excited to treat our patients here at the Totola Cancer Center.
It's been described by Florida Senator Marco Rubio as truly frightening. Zika. Florida has more infections caused by the mosquito-borne virus than any other state in the U.S., but incredibly, Funding to combat the potentially dangerous virus has turned into a political football in your United States Congress.
A congressional showdown over how to fund fighting the Zika virus.
There's more than adequate funding here.
The yeas are 241, the nays are 184. The bill is passed.
The House approving a measure to provide $622 million, far short of the $1.9 billion emergency request from President Obama.
Is it nearly enough to prevent the spread of the deadly Zika virus?
Zika is spreading rapidly in Central and South America, primarily through mosquitoes, and could cause severe birth defects, including babies born with smaller heads. At least 48 pregnant women in the U.S. have tested positive for Zika, all cases linked to travel outside the U.S. Health officials warn it is on our doorstep.
This is an unprecedented problem. Rapid action can turn a crisis around.
Funding would be used to control the mosquito population, develop vaccines, and conduct research. In the Senate, a separate $1.1 billion Zika bill is moving forward with bipartisan support.
Gets us all the way to September the 30th next year, about the same time we hope a vaccine is available.
Obviously, that's good progress, but it falls short of what our public health professionals believe is necessary.
And with the summer mosquito season approaching, officials from Florida are not waiting on the federal government.
We're going to spend whatever we need to spend on vector and mosquito control here in Miami-Dade County.
The White House said it would veto the House Zika bill because of inadequate funding, and it would take money from fighting Ebola. There is no current veto threat on the Senate bill. We'll discuss what's being done on the Suncoast to stop Zika when we come back.
US Med has great news for anyone living with diabetes.
If you have Medicare, private insurance, or prescription drug coverage, US Med will ship a new glucose meter right to your home.
And shipping is free.
My new meter uses only a speck of blood, so it's less painful than my previous meter.
If you have Medicare, private insurance, or prescription drug coverage, you're covered with US Med. We're welcoming new patients, even if your current provider can't supply you anymore.
I don't even have to test on my fingers anymore. I can test on my hand or forearms, and it's more accurate than my old meter.
So call US Med today, and you'll have a choice of 2 great meters.
One that actually speaks your results, or a meter so small it fits on the bottle of strips.
Act now, and US Med will include a free prescription discount card. We'll also send you a free diabetes cookbook. This is your opportunity.
So call US Med today.
You'll be glad you did.
They care. They take the time to understand you, take the time to understand your case.
There's no better satisfaction to me than to see a client who is happy because of the job we've done for them.
It's really actually very comforting to know that there's someone that you've heard of and you're getting recommendations about that you can turn to when you have a problem.
I felt like I had a partner in this, and he was going to be by my side.
I'm Dale Mast, and we're celebrating 40 years on the west coast of Florida.
It's our 40th anniversary, and it's time for a celebration, the Culligan Hydration Celebration. For a limited time, celebrate by taking $250 off any Culligan home system. That's $250 off Culligan water softener systems, drinking water systems, or whole house water filters. Help us celebrate our 40th anniversary, and remember,
for better water, pure and simple, call today and say, "Hey, Culligan man."
Joining us for more on tonight's topic is Mark Latham, Director at the Manatee County Mosquito Control District. He has been working in mosquito control for more than 3 decades. And Mark, thank you for being here. And I remember a couple of weeks ago, my wife and I were at our son's baseball game. Many of these high school fields are built on old swampland, and we were getting bitten. And it was right when the Zika stuff was percolating out. You have a lot of moms and dads who are absolutely frightened about what they hear on the news these days.
Yeah, that's correct, and we're hearing it as well. I mean, we're getting emails about it, and what before was, 1 or 2 bites people put up with, now with the scare of Zika, 1 or 2 bites, everyone is panicking. And what I can say, and like in response to what you were talking about, when you're seeing mosquitoes biting you at night out in these fields, I mean, they're swamp mosquitoes. They're not mosquitoes that are capable of transmitting Zika. The Zika mosquitoes are mosquitoes that are only found in backyards, in containers. They don't fly very far, and they normally bite in daylight hours. So it is a different mosquito, but it is a mosquito that the public really needs to take
So they're found in backyards. Yes. What does that tell homeowners in terms of what they should be doing?
What we've been saying all along, which is they need to clean up the backyards, look for anything that can hold water, whether it be buckets, tires, bird baths, anything that can hold water, this mosquito will use as its breeding ground.
Are you currently testing for the Zika virus?
We're not testing mosquitoes for the Zika virus. I believe Sarasota County is looking at that. But until you have cases, that's like looking for a needle in a haystack, because this virus will only arrive with a human infection. It's not a virus that occurs in the bird population or anywhere else. So until we have a human case, there will be no Zika virus in the counties.
So you here in Washington, we're talking about the president wants $1.9 billion. The Senate passed a bill that for $1.1 billion. The House, $600-something million. That hopefully will be worked out. But what would that money go to do?
As far as I'm aware, because it's still all up in the air, a lot of that is going to go towards research. It's going to go towards medical research. I mean, we're learning all the time. The issue of microcephaly was basically unknown until the outbreak in Brazil. When it surfaced. So that made it very important to study the virus and what it does to humans. But there's also research to do with how can we control this mosquito. And we've been looking at that for a while, but putting some more money into that and lots of new tools that have yet to be approved have been coming on the market. And hopefully those sort of things will be looked into.
We interviewed Senator Bill Nelson a couple weeks ago about this, and he talked about putting sterile mosquitoes into the system that will hopefully knock down the mosquito population. Does that sound like it would be effective?
That is a long-term goal, because you cannot do that on a short term. In order to effectively do that, you have got to raise billions of mosquitoes to treat a small area, and that small area you have to knock down the wild population first. So although that is a promising program in the long term, you're talking about working for 5 or 10 years at that sort of thing to get rid of this mosquito, but it's one of the tools that we're looking at.
It's quite a fight going on in Congress right now over this issue, but even if the money, this bill was passed, you still have your doubts about whether or not anything would really happen in terms of funding it.
Well, yes. I mean, we haven't been told how that is going to come across. Now, what we're hoping is it'll be something like when you have a hurricane emergency, you have FEMA distributing the funds to the state, to the area. And we believe the same sort of thing will happen. When you look at Florida and you look at mosquito control, I mean, every county, not every county, but most counties have some form of mosquito control. Some are better than others. There are going to be those programs that really need help because they might be one-man shows and they really need help. Other programs will do pretty good with what they've got. They could do with a bit of extra money, but they will do pretty good with what they've got. And in the Bay Area, we're pretty good.
Why does Florida have more Zika infections than any other state in the country?
The particular mosquito that transmits it is mostly a tropical, subtropical mosquito. So it is found mainly through Florida is a prime area, and then around the Gulf Coast into South Texas. So that is why Zika would be such a problem here. Now, in terms of why there are so many imported cases, there's a lot of travel from Florida to the Caribbean, to South America, a lot of visiting family, not just tourism. So I think that is part of the issue, is why we have so many cases.
So therefore, do you think it's less likely that Zika will travel to the Northeast or the Northwest?
It is, yeah, much more unlikely because, again, with it only being a disease that's found in humans, the human would have to be there, then you'd have to have enough mosquitoes with the chance of biting that infected human, and then those mosquitoes surviving. Those mosquitoes will not survive up in the Northeast or Midwest or whatever.
You're a professional in this area. You're not into politics, but are you somewhat surprised, with the exception of Vern Buchanan and two Republicans from the Miami area, that you had a lot of members of Congress from Florida vote against the larger amounts that the president and Bill Nelson and Marco Rubio and Vern Buchanan wanted?
Well, I'm very surprised that nothing can be sorted out. It seems that it's partisan politics. There is, I mean, this is a problem that affects everyone. It's not Democrats or Republicans, and I just do not understand why they can't just get their act together and approve something.
Are you and your colleagues from different counties doing anything to organize your efforts and maybe lobby Congress to get its act together?
That was done a week ago. The American Mosquito Control Association visited Washington to lobby for the various issues that affect mosquito control, and that was at the top of the list.
And what kind of reception did you get?
They got a mixed reception. Obviously, when they're visiting the Florida delegation, they got a pretty good reception. Other people, well, oh, okay, you know, it's on the table, so what? You know, it's. Yeah.
And you have seen this before with other diseases that are brought around by mosquitoes, that sometimes it's not a crisis until it really kind of explodes.
Right, which is a sad state of affairs. I mean, we can see it coming. I mean, as we get more travel in the world, all these diseases which were in a remote part of the world, they're now finding their way to places where they hadn't been before and exploding. I mean, if you look just in the last 5 or 6 years, you had dengue, which used to be in the US, then was got rid of, and that came back. Then chikungunya, which didn't exist in this part of the world. Someone brought it over, and we had an explosion in the Caribbean with millions of cases. That was only 2 years ago, and now Zika. Now, the next thing, what's going to be the next thing? Yellow fever is exploding in West Africa. That would be scary, because it's a serious disease.
All right, so let's help our viewers take some precautions, common sense precautions, not only on their own properties and their own backyards, but when they go out to other areas. Let's start at home. What should you be doing?
The first thing you should be doing is going around your own yard, looking at anything that can hold water and emptying it, turning it upside down so it cannot hold water if you want to keep it. It's a daytime biting mosquito. If you're going to be outside, and you can wear repellent, and there are a few of those mosquitoes around because they're in the neighborhood, wear repellent.
And quickly, if you go out to the beach or to the park,
you will not see it at the beach, and you will not see it at the park, at the soccer fields. It'd be very uncommon to see it there. You won't find it out in the wilds when you're hunting. It's not that sort of mosquito.
Okay, Mark Latham, thank you very much for coming in today.
You're
We'll
very
be back in just a moment.
That's Chuck, proud homeowner, regular do-it-yourselfer. Today he's attempting an electrical repair. This is Pablo. He's an electrician with Mr. Sparky. How's he doing, Pablo?
Terrible, Mike.
Yeah. What Chuck doesn't realize is that almost 68,000 home fires are caused every year by electrical problems.
What?
If he doesn't have the proper tools and training, he's liable to start the next one.
Little help here.
That's what I'm talking about.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
You might want to write that number down.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help. With Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
This is a special health alert for seniors suffering with joint pain. If you have Medicare insurance, you may qualify for high-quality support braces at little or no cost.
I'm thrilled with my knee braces.
Now, there is a simple and proven solution for seniors to get out of pain with state-of-the-art support braces.
I barely feel any pain at all.
Braces for your knees and back, as well as your shoulders and ankles, too.
I'm so happy with the quality of these braces.
Call now, and you could qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost.
I can play ball again, and it doesn't hurt.
And because of my Medicare coverage, it costs me next to nothing.
So call now.
And because I have this red, white, and blue Medicare card, my braces have cost me just about nothing.
It's true. You may get a knee, back, shoulder, and ankle brace at little or no cost.
They qualified me for 2 knee braces and a back brace.
If you have knee or back pain, give them a call. They can help.
1-800-476-8967. 1-800-476-8967.
Whether you're a homeowner looking for a professional installation or a contractor looking for top quality products, Sarasota Glass and Mirror can meet your every need.
For 42 years, Sarasota Glass and Mirror has been the area's premier supplier and installer of quality glass products for your home or business. As an authorized PGT WinGuard dealer, we know how to protect your home with everything from the PGT WinGuard impact-resistant windows and doors to shower enclosures and decorative mirrors. The Sarasota Glass and Mirror team has the knowledge to tackle any project.
Frontier customers have had to deal with all sorts of service outages, problems with billing, technicians being no-shows, and more. It has cost businesses money and even affected hospitals. Attorney General Pam Bondi and Agriculture Commissioner Adam Putnam have been overwhelmed with complaints against the company. Both have vowed to crack down on Frontier, but the reality is the state has no ability to regulate the cable company. Frontier claims the problems are because of corrupt data received from Verizon during the takeover. And here is what you have to say about Frontier's excuse. Dave Wanamaker writes, just fix the problem. Don't place blame on others. Glad I don't use their services. Never have, never will. Kurt Braun writes, I guess corrupt data causes horrible customer service too. And Ronald Simon writes, talk about passing the buck. What a pathetic excuse for an internet provider. And Kevin Kumanga writes, something is corrupt here. How about making us pay for full price for services we no longer have? Well, if you'd like to join the conversation about tonight's topic, just visit our Facebook page at facebook.com/news@7. And that is all the time we have for this evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Alan Cohn. Have a great night.